Well, it's Tuesday, and we have actually we have two more things to talk about when it comes to reversing loops. One is how you handle a turntable, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And then the other one being, how do you automate these systems? Because a lot of people don't want to fool with the switches. And is there some way to just make the whole thing automatic? And yes, there is. So in the case of a turntable, we also have a reversing loop situation in that when we run a train in on the turntable bridge and then rotate it all the way around, the two rails on the bridge changed sides, and so the polarity at the incoming side of the turntable is now at a short. So if the turntable bridge were in this position when we tried to pull a locomotive onto the turntable, it's going to short out. Moreover, the same thing applies when we pull out onto any of the stall tracks of the turntable over here. So how do we deal with that? Well, we have to have a separate isolated turning section, another reversing loop switch, double pull, double throw, that controls just the bridge of the turntable. And then everything else in the locomotive facility can be on its own isolated switch, which can also be, again, the whole rest of the railroad if that's how you want to handle it. I like to just isolate my locomotive facility, and then I have one switch that controls the polarity of the entire locomotive facility, and then one switch that controls the polarity of the turntable bridge. In this case, automating these systems, again, all of these systems can be automated in different ways, and the easy way to automate a turntable bridge is to make it so that as it rotates around past 90 degrees to the incoming track, it automatically reverses the polarity on the bridge. And that means that whatever wiper system that you have to take power onto the bridge in the first place has to have two different sets of contacts that line up in two different ways so that it automatically reverses. Atlas turntables automatically do that. They have that built into them. Building your own, that would just be weird and complicated, and it's just much easier to just have a reversing switch that controls the polarity of the turntable bridge. But then you have to have some sort of indicator on the bridge, which end is which, so you know what direction to throw the switch to align the polarity of the turntable bridge so that it doesn't short out as the locomotive pulls on. And typically what happens is you confuse that and you pull a locomotive on and it shorts out. You throw the switch and then everything is fine. Anyway, you have to be able to isolate that and again keep track. So if you have something at one end of the bridge that also aligns with the position of your switch, and you can mount your switch near the turntable horizontally so that it's left and right, and then when you say, okay, my little mark on my turntable bridge is at this side, it's at the right side, therefore the switch needs to be over to the right side, and that will align the polarity for things coming onto the bridge. Then for things going off of the bridge, once I've rotated around, my little marker on my bridge is now at the other side. That means I've got to throw my switch over the other side, and then the train can proceed seamlessly back off the bridge. There are different ways of automating it, but I like to just have a switch. It's just simpler. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this series on electrics, and if you are, please become a subscriber. And the easy way to subscribe is by clicking on the upcoming blue button. Zonk, right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And Karen and I will see you here on Sunday with some Sunday foolishness. So see you then. Bye-bye.